Semper Fi, and welcome back to Celebrating Vintage Model Kits. Today we're going to be looking at some U.S. Marines from Airfix. This is a 1976 issue of the U.S. Marines from 1941 to 45. It's part of the Airfix new Multipose military figures series that they introduced in the mid-70s. It's in 1/32 scale. To match up with their armored vehicles that they'd been producing. There's a kind of a fight between manufacturers between 1/32 and 1/35 for military armor and figures in this time period, and so Airfix was sticking with 1/32 for sure. The box art is by a gentleman by the name of William Stallion, and its kit number is 03583-9. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, today is the United States Marine Corps' 250th birthday. They were formed in 10 November of 1775 at Tun Tavern. So let's look at our kit here. We've got some pretty neat artwork on the cover, and kind of depicting a beachhead assault. We've got Higgins boats over here landing, Marines. And we got the ubiquitous Marine Corps helmet cover for camouflage. Kind of an odd choice of the rest of the uniform that they're showing. The straps on here are not Marine Corps. These are the regular Army issue M36 suspenders. You've got high top boots on here. These would normally have been for Marines. The Boondockers, which are the rough out shoes with gaiters. The Marine Corps had the HBT herringbone twill pattern uniform that was introduced in 1941. It actually didn't really start getting to the troops until late 42. So even on Guadalcanal, they were still wearing khakis, like khaki shirts. Then that's when the herringbone twill stuff started showing up. Helmet covers didn't start showing up until 43. So what they're depicting on here is kind of more of a, I don't know, kind of a mishmash of stuff. You've got, looks like regular khaki shirts being worn on here. And these look like these are the Garand pouches, or the Garand belt that's on here. You've got this officer, I guess, carrying a 45, but yet he's still using the same pistol belt. Here's a bar gunner here. So it looks like maybe his pouch is a little bit larger for the bar belt. You got a carbine guy over here. He's using the same pistol belt or Garand belt on here. And then you've got this guy here carrying a grease gun, M3 grease gun, which Marines really didn't use much until the very end of the war. And so kind of a odd mix of stuff here for their uniforms. Yeah, the majority of the war, the Marines were wearing that two-piece, pattern 41 herringbone twill outfit, which there was also a camouflage version of it. Then there was the pattern 44, which had different pocket arrangements that came out just in time for Okinawa, and then was used through Korea. So a little bit of uniform history for you on Marine Corps uniforms. So we've got military figures, build 6 figures in action poses. The big new badge on there. On the back side here, you've got showing you the actual size of these figures. And then because of the way these things were designed, you could pose these in different poses. So they gave you a whole mess of different body parts and equipments and stuff that you could then assemble to the way that you want. Unlike, say, like at the time, your Tamiya figures, were pretty much, this is, the pose and the weapons that they would carry. The Airfix ones gave you a lot of variety. And then down here you've got all parts are interchangeable, given the wide variety of poses, as mentioned. Other kits in the series were 8th Army and the Africa Corps, so the Marines were part of the first group that was issued. Call outs for paint, and they also mention on here they give you a strip of polystyrene to make slings and belts and whatnot extra. And then a schematic of the parts layout. And then samplings of other types of poses you could make with the figures. On the side we've got Multipose military figures, Marines, and then here you got the 76 date and Airfix's address. This side here showing instructions in English, French, and German. Box end, we've got our kit number, the 035839. 8 and up could build it, made in England. And same thing on this side. Let's take a look at what we got inside. So it's an end open box. That's everything in it. So we've got an instruction sheet. A little history of the Marine Corps on here. A little bit about the Multipose figures. And then this is giving you a sample of how to build your figures up, and color callouts for painting. A couple more figure suggestions on here, and then color callouts for painting all the different pieces that you got with it. And no date on this one. Nope. So here's the sheet of styrene that they give you to help with making slings and stuff if you want. Kind of nice touch. And then this is an unopened bag, so we'll be opening this for the first time. It's time to change blades here. It smells like the sands of Iwo Jima. Alright, so I've inserted here the modelers club that you could send in, and also if you're missing parts. And here we have our first sprue, so we've got torsos. Focus on those. You got various different arms, all the equipment. Looks like binoculars, small packs, bayonets, fighting knives, bayonet for the rifle, bayonet with scabbard, 45s, Garands, carbines, there's the back side. And then here we have our other parts. So these are our legs. So I know in other issues of these legs have been split, so you could put two different legs together to make the lower half. They're pretty good. And this one's got T-handled shovels, canteens, 45 pouches, different heads, different poses for the heads, helmets both with cover and without cover, Daisy May hats, large packs, some more legs. So there you have it. Not much to figure kits. The series, started out with the 8th Army and the Afrika Korps, then these Marines. Later on, they added British Army infantry, kind of Northwest Europe uniforms. Then a German infantry, Northwest Europe, and then U.S. infantry, Northwest Europe. And then finally, Japanese infantry. So there wasn't too much to the line, unlike the 32nd scale, kind of more like a toy soldier figure series that they produced, which was a fairly extensive line. They had quite a bit of different figures available. This series I don't think sold very well. As armor kits, that world was shifting towards 35th scale as kind of the main dominant scale. These 32nd scale kits, I don't think were being purchased at that high of a level. 32nd scale is okay for those little toy soldier kind of figures, but for modeling, I think the 32nd scale kind of falls away. Hence, not a lot of issues of these. So as far as actual issues go, you got this original one from '76. Then there was another one in 1990, and then finally one in 2005. All using the same box art, just variations of the box layout itself, but it's still all using the same art. Interesting thing was on the other figures, the 132nd scale toy soldier ones never had Marines, which was kind of odd. They did all kinds of other stuff, but no Marines in those. But they did do Marines in the HOO 176 scale, the little small figures, and that had a different box art for most of its life. But a couple of the issues reused this box art for those 176 scale figures. So kind of interesting that they would do that. Well, that's about it. If you've built any of these before, tell us about your experience. Not necessarily just the Marines, but any of these multi-pose figures I find kind of interesting. So if you've had any experience building with those, tell us about it in the comments section. And of course, you got any of you guys built on your shelf or in a diorama, send some pictures and send it in for next viewer build video. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and have yourself a great Marine Corps birthday.